All right, so this program is going to demonstrate this bicycle class, and I got to make sure I spell things right in here. Just saw that. Anyway, it's also going to demonstrate some polymorphism and why polymorphism is used. So let's start off. We have a bicycle, and the bicycle has three integers: start cadence, start speed, start gear, and it has a constructor that starts the cadence, starts the speed, starts the gear, and there's a print description. Okay, so then the mountain bike, the only difference between a mountain bike would have a suspension. So it'd have a start cadence, start speed, start gear that it would super in from the bicycle, but it would then have its own suspension type. Okay, and then you can set suspension, get suspension, and then print description would override the print description of the bicycle. And then we would have a road bike, and the road bike would only add a tire width, so it would super in, start cadence, start speed, start gear, but then you'd have a new tire width that would be passed in and assigned to the tire width. And maybe I won't even use the word new right here. You guys should be able to figure that out, that that's being passed in, and then it will be assigned. Then you can get the tire width and print the description, which again overrides this print description. Now, polymorphism. So this is how the book kind of starts off teaching it. So I'll say bicycle, bike. I'll say bike 1, bike 2, and bike 3. Those are all bicycle variables. Okay, and let me think here. We'll say bike 1 equals a new bicycle, 20, 10, and 1. Okay, so let's go in here and create our bicycle class. Okay, so we'll have what do we got? My start speed and my start gear. So we'll have public bicycle. Okay, so that's pretty easy, and then we'll just do our description real quick. Public void, print, description. And I could have done this, I guess, with a toString, but oh well, this is what I did. So I'll say bike is in gear. With a cadence of and traveling think there's 2 L's in that. Traveling at a speed of okay. So that's that. It's pretty easy. All right. So okay, that goes away. All right. Now the way I'm going to show you at first is not how you would ever program, okay? You would never do it like this. So a mountain bike has the start cadence 20, that'd be the start gears 20. No, wait, let me look. Start cadence is 20, start speed would be 10. Excuse me. The start gear with, let's say it's 5, and it has a dual suspension, okay? So there's an error there because we haven't created the mountain bike, so let's go out and create it. Okay, so I'm going to do some copying here. So this is going to be mountain bike has a private, and you know what? I got to make all these other ones private as well. Again, private variables with public methods. Private, and a mountain bike has a suspension, so it's string suspension. Okay, so those get passed in, and then string. This will be my suspension. Okay, so this, we gotta super in our let me see this real quick. Let me see what I'm doing wrong here. That's wrong because they're spelled wrong. And what's wrong with this? Oh yeah, remember I got extends a bicycle. Okay, so that does that. And then we can do our public void set suspension. Pass in the string suspension. Say my suspension equals suspension. Yeah. If you get an error on this, just make sure that you extend, from the superclass. I forget to do that sometimes, so it's just one of those things you have to remember. So we're going to super in what the print description was from bicycle, so that will display first when this gets called as a mountain bike. And then we'll say the mountain bike has a so I'll say like it has a dual suspension. Just say method gets suspension. I can't spell anything right today. Okay, cool. So that fixes that, all right? And then last one, again, you would never program like this. There'd be no reason to, but I'll show you here in a minute, where I'm going with this. So I'll say bike 3 is a new road bike. And a road bike has a start cadence, start speed, and a gear, and something else. What does it have? Tire width, and I don't know, I gave it a number of 23. I don't know. None of this stuff really means anything in terms of what real road bikes have. I have no clue. Okay. Whoops. Why is it called new class? Delete that. Okay, so right click and say new and call it road bike. Okay, so first thing we got to make sure we do is we extends the bicycle. I want to make that mistake again, and if I spell it right, it'll be okay. Extends bicycle. What's wrong with this? Construct. Oh, okay, yeah, because nothing's created yet. That's fine. So the road bike will have an int, a private int tire width. Public road bike. And that will have and then an int tire width. All right, so road bike needs to be spelled properly. Again, can't spell anything. All right, so we need to do the same thing here with super. We got to super in all these variables for our road bike. And then we'll say what my tire width equals tire width. Look at this. Okay. So then we have what a public void set tire width. And we would pass in the int tire width, and we would say my tire width equals tire width. Okay, and then we can do a get, public void get tire width, and return the my tire width. It's an int, and then we'll say print description. So again, we'll super in the print description from the bicycle with some methods overriding. So we'll override the print description. So we'll add this, and then it'll print something specific about the road bike. The road bike has this dot get tire width plus, and I'll say so millimeter tires. All right, so if we were to display this stuff now, we would say bike1 dot print description, bike2 dot print okay, and so let's see here. This should be fine. So let's copy that into Notepad. So we got the bike is in gear 1, a cadence in 20 and traveling at a speed of 10. Bike is in gear 5 with cadence 5 and traveling at, okay, the mountain bike has a dual suspension. Let's see here. Okay. All right. So in all of these, a bicycle is a bicycle is a bicycle, a mountain bike is a bicycle, and a road bike is a bicycle. Okay, that's all true. That's your is a relationship. Now, if we do something like this and we say system.out.println and we say bike2.get suspension, we get an error. Okay, what does it say? Cannot find symbol method get suspension. Okay, the reason for this, okay, since a mountain bike is a bicycle, but a bicycle does not know get suspension. So that's an error. So some of you might be going, well then what the heck is the point of this stupid so and if I did something like this, if I said mountain bike bike 4 equals new mountain bike, and I said 20, 10, 5, and it has a dual suspension as well, and then I said, and I tried to copy that and paste it, and I said this was bike 4, it would get the suspension just fine because a mountain bike is a mountain bike. A mountain bike knows how to call the get suspension here. No problem, okay? But this is an issue, and so, again, you would never do it like this. What you would do, this is why you have polymorphism, because you could have all of these. Now let's do this. Okay. You would have something like this, where you'd have a bicycle of, I don't know, let's just call it bikes equals new bicycle, and let's say there were 3 bikes stored in here. So then what you would do is you would say bikes at position 0 would equal a new, okay? Let's see here, a new, what's wrong with this? Oh, okay. Okay, so then you'd have bikes at position 1 equals so the whole purpose of polymorphism is to basically figure out, you know, how to deal with this. If you have a bikes an array of bicycle, okay, and you can store different bicycle type objects inside the bikes array, how does this get dealt with, okay? And so this is where you'd have, you know, bikes at position 0. Whoops. Okay, so then you still have the problem here, okay? So this is where bikes at position 1 is a mountain bike, and a mountain bike is a bicycle, and bicycle only knows how to call its own methods, so it can't call get suspension, all right? So that would be an error. So anyway, you would typically just create your objects like this, but the only reason you have like polymorphism was created, and they had to come up with a way of figuring out, you know, what if you store a bunch of different objects in an array. So anyway, I went through each of these first to kind of go, okay, this is how you'd kind of go through it, even though that's not how it would work. Okay, so anyway, let me think here. So again, these are pretty cool because print description, you know, you can have a print description of this, and then each one has its own as you know, when you run it, you know, before runtime, the compiler doesn't know which print description is going to be called, but when you run it, it goes, oh, okay, this is a bicycle. So, and this is a mountain bike, and this is a road bike, and so then you have something called dynamic binding, which occurs, and so then, you know, it knows to call this print description for a mountain bike instead of this print description for a bicycle. So, anyway, this is a good example. Come back to this, and it's a little bit shorter than the different worker one that video I created. That's like an hour long. So. Anyway, this video is done.